Now, today I'm also going live on YouTube, so I'm just about to go and pop live on there. So I might. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Welcome. Today we are talking about releasing your money block. So today I'm coming live to you on Facebook as well as YouTube. So you will find that I will be saying hi to people personally on both sides. So whichever platform you're watching me on, welcome. Great to see you on here. Please do say hi to me personally in the comments, and I will then also give you a personal shout out as well. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Tracy Cornelius. I'm a transformation coach and intuitive reader. Now, since 2009, I've been an EFT advanced practitioner, and money is a very big factor that people come to me with, especially blocks with money. You may find it quite interesting to know some of the statistics that I found out for you for this particular session. Now, 50% of people that are struggling financially actually consider committing suicide. And this actually comes from the Debt Support Trust, which is such a huge number, and it's such a massive problem. Now, most of the statistics that I've got are relevant to the UK, but this is worldwide. So money is something that is essential for most of us in our every single day life, and yet the issues that we have with it can really be very emotive. It's also stated that 50% of adults, which in the UK, to put this into perspective, is 25.6 million, are actually financially vulnerable. And 1 in 6 adults would actually really struggle if their mortgage or their rent was put up by even £50 a month. Those statistics are huge. So it's completely understandable why many of my clients come to me, because they are financially struggling, but also because they have a number of these financial blocks. It's not just because of what's happening within society, although that can be a big factor, because if that was the case, then there wouldn't be people earning money. Now, it might also be interesting for you to know that people that come through to me because they've got money blocks don't actually always be people that are struggling financially. I've found that people that are also super wealthy also have very profound money blocks as well. They may just be in different areas. So, like I said, to date, unfortunately, I have not come across one person that does not have some issue or block to do with money. And we're going to be working through a lot of these. If you want me to work with you personally today, if you want to actually have a personal breakthrough, then let me know in the comments, and I will do very similar to I did a session last night, which was much more on relationships, and I worked with Sharon. So I'm more than happy to work with somebody very personally today with regards to any finance or money blocks that they do have. Now, how do you know if you've got a money block? That's a great question. If you find yourself struggling, if you are not in the financial situation that you would like to be in, then there is a money block. It really is as simple as that. Now, we're going to be using EFT today, which is Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as the tapping solution, to be able to release some of those blocks. But I'm also going to be helping you with regards to the mindset, and also how the programming of money came about, and how we can then try and rewrite that as well. So let me just take you right the way back. So from the time that you were born, we can look at you a little bit like a computer. You came with an installation disk. So the installation disk meant that you could do all the things that you would need to do to be able to survive. And then we've got the other programming disk, and this is all about learning. This is all about the experiences that we have so that we can become a more developed human being. Now, the programming that comes or gets put onto this disk is written by those that are in and around you. So all the influences that you have, for example, from parents, from grandparents, if they had a lot to do with your upbringing, could be step parents, could even be friends, siblings, that type of thing. Whoever had profound experiences with you and helped you to grow up, those would be the people that helped with your programming. Now, the difficulty with that is that that all gets stored within the subconscious mind. Between the ages of 0 to 7, there is absolutely no filtering whatsoever. As adults, we tend to filter information. It's why if you spend any time with children, and I have lots of children, I've got 5 children, but 4 of them are between the ages of 6 and 2. They are extremely observant. They will see things that I might not actually see. And that's because I'm already filtering it out. But for them, it's like a wide open lens. There is no filtering. It means that not only are they learning and having their program written by the experiences that they have, by the things that they are doing, they are also having their program written by the things that they are observing, the things that they are seeing, hearing, and feeling in and around their environment. Now, if you were being brought up in an environment where maybe money was a struggle, maybe your parents had the belief that if you had money, you were evil. Maybe there was the belief that to have money was shameful, or it would make you feel guilty, or that if you had money, it meant that you must have ripped somebody else off, or why would you want money when there are other people in the world that don't have anything? All of these types of scenarios are quite prevalent. If I look back at the history of the clients that I've dealt with, this comes up time and time and time and time again. And the next most profound one is this kind of almost bust and boom experience with money. It's where you've got money and everything's all great 1 minute, and then there is no money. So there almost becomes this kind of programming that means that when you've got it, you're either trying to spend it really quickly because you're so concerned that you're never going to have that experience again and you need to reward yourself, or you're so frivolous because you're so concerned that the money is not going to be consistently flowing. So again, there's those money blocks that will be happening for you. And there are different ways of being able to discover what those blocks are specifically for you. Hi, Alex. Great. Thanks very much for your comment on here. Let me just see if I can bring up the comments. For those of you that are on YouTube, on Facebook, I can drag over the comments, but unfortunately I can't do that on YouTube. So, Alex, for some reason I cannot. There we go. Morning. I didn't see your comment before that, so thanks very much. Right. So you have got on here. This is so common as well, so I just want you to know that you're not alone in this. Alex has got on here, my belief is that I'm not worthy of money. My parents were very negative about money and that it was always scarce. Any money had to be earned only by hard work. That is extremely profound. We're going to be talking about that one. And that I would never become anything and that I was worth nothing. So I would never be good enough to be abundant. Alex, you will probably find that the majority of people that come on today will have very, very similar experiences with regards to that. And you've also got on here that my parents were very jealous of people with money. Absolutely. There seems to be quite a lot of suspicion that people can have. They have a judgment of suspicion with people with money. And when there is a series of lack, it's because they feel that they cannot obtain that it's so far out of their reach, that it's not possible. We're very fortunate in the age that we live in that we have much better access to information, and I mean anybody has access to this information with regards to how we work on a physiological level, on an emotional level, on a physical level, and also on a mental level. So we are much more aware now of what happens from our mind, from our emotions, and also within our body. And actually we can do this as an experiment. So I just want you to think about money right now. How much have you got? I don't need you to put that into the comments. I just want you to think about the money situation that you have in and around you at the moment. And I would like you to rate this on a series of 0 to 10. So 0 means that you kind of feel like you have not got enough, that you're completely broke, and that you are concerned about where the next money is coming in. And 10 would be that actually you're not concerned about money at all, that everything's being able to be paid for, and that, you know, I'm doing all right, thanks very much. So just rate that on a 0 to 10 scale, because we'll be using this later on. Now, I want to go back to this suspicion with regards to people that have got money. It is one of the biggest aspects that I find within a number of people. This If those have got money, they've ripped somebody off, or they've done something untoward, or it's okay for them, as though it's something that is so far out of reach that you need to go and do something so completely different that it's not for you. There's almost like a distance. Like when you step into that feeling, you can almost see the distance. You can almost feel the distance. And the difficulty with that is that it also means you're not in alignment with money. What's the first thing that comes up when you think about money? Do you think about lack? Or do you think that actually it can give you great rewards? It can help you have experiences that you really want to have. It can help you have your house. It can help you drive your car, for example. We're going to talk very much about perception as well, and also the law of attraction with regards to money as well, because one of the number one things that I've had, and I would do this in public speaking since 2008, the majority of people tend to focus on what it is that they don't want, especially when it comes down to money. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. You may be concentrating on your bank statement and looking, going, oh, that's got to come out, and I've got this bill coming out, and I've got that bill coming out, and I've hardly got anything left at the end of the month. Or it might even be the case of, I'm not even quite sure if I can pay that bill right now. Now, when we think about that, that feeling is so profound. For the majority of people that I've had experience with, it's a feeling that's right at the pit of your stomach. For you, it might be somewhere else. It might be a restriction around your chest area. It may be within your throat. You may find that you have things within your head, like it feels like you're getting a headache. Whatever that is for you, you might want to make a mental note of that or write that down, because we could be working on that later on. So when we are focusing on that, what we're actually doing is, as far as the law of attraction is concerned, if we think about every single thought process that we have has a vibration. It's an energy. And I do a lot of public talking with regards to energy and how I can try to make the invisible visible. Because let's face it, not very many people actually see energy. It's a very difficult thing. However, by using muscle testing, which I teach in my 6 weeks to Fire Your Inner Critic and Hire Your Inner Coach course, I teach you a number of different muscle testing techniques, which is how you can really kind of make the invisible visible. You can actually tangibly understand how energy affects things. So let's just think about a thought for a second. It's 100% impossible to have a negative and a positive thought at the same time. Now, we can have thoughts, we have billions of them in a day. That's why our mind is always going. So if I was to say to you right now, laughter, enjoy the great time that you've had with your friends, it's more than likely to bring up a memory where you were either laughing, having fun, and especially having fun with friends. If I was to say to you something along the lines of struggle, of not having what you wanted, the experience that you had on the first time when you really wanted something so badly and found out that it wasn't for you, that can also then bring feelings of sadness, of despair, of frustration. That's just by me mentioning those words. However, it's had a physiological response in your body. Now, if I can take that a little bit of a step further and say, okay, well, that physiological response you've just had has a vibration. And that vibration works on the electromagnetic field. So what it does is universally it's saying, right, okay, I'm putting this vibration out. Can you come back and match it? So if you're looking at those bills that we mentioned earlier, and it's constantly going through, right, I've got this to pay and I've got that to pay, your thought process and your feeling is money going out. So therefore, you're attracting more money going out. And I'm going to give you a few examples. Have you experienced money coming in, and it may have also been unexpected, that you've got so absolutely thrilled about, because you're like, yes, I've actually got something that's coming in. I can go and treat myself. I can go and do whatever. I can save for the holiday. It might even be great. I can go and pay off that bill. But then as soon as you get that in, then something else happens to take that money away. It could be that the car breaks down. It could be that you suddenly need a new fridge freezer, that you need a new washing machine, that there's suddenly a school trip for the children, that they need new school shoes, or that you need to go and pay because your boiler's broken down. Fill in the blank of whatever that happens to be for you. That is a very common response. And again, it's a block because it's not just saying that you very rarely get money, but it means you cannot hold on to money. So at the moment, I've got majority people with, Alex is saying that she's around about a 5. For those of you on YouTube and that have just joined me, thank you very much. Great to see you on here. Please do say hi in the comments or say hi to you personally. What I would like you to do is to rate how you feel about money on a 0 to 10 scale, because we're going to work on this. This is not just a case of watching. I'm actually going to help you to be able to have some transformations today, and I'm going to give you the tools to be able to do that. So if you rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you've got absolutely no money whatsoever and that you're feeling, quite desperate about the situation. 10 being actually, you know what, I'm pretty cool about money. I've got everything that I need and I've got no concern about it at all. Just let me know in the comments where that is for you. Now, we're going to be working on, hi Annette, great to see you on here. We're going to be working through this using EFT. So for those of you that have just come on, EFT is Emotional Freedom Technique, otherwise known as tapping. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of the scientific evidence that's behind EFT. So we tap on different meridian points in the body. They are also used for acupuncture as well as other energy medicines. And we also use what's called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP for short. So here's what happens. We have a thought. Every single thought has a physiological response. Many years ago, we were designed and developed for survival. So our brain is very survival orientated. The amygdala part of the brain is what is responsible for what's called the flight or flight or freeze emotion. Now, here's the thing. We are not so much in a survival situation these days, but we have got a big threat, if you like, to our lifestyle. So we don't have threat to life, we have threat to lifestyle. That still fires up the amygdala response. So in context of money, for example, and having that fear that we either got too much coming out or we've not got enough coming in, it fires up the amygdala. The amygdala then says, oh my gosh, we've got a real serious problem here. It puts you into that flight, fight, or freeze response. And then you're in that response for such a long period of time. Now, the difficulty with that is that actually that's not a threat to your life. But if you're in that constant state, it's stopping you from being able to move forward. So by tapping on the different meridian points and using the language that we use, we spark up the memory. So the bits that I was talking about, the programming earlier on, we spark up the memory using the words. The amygdala instantly fires off its response to that because it doesn't differentiate between the thought of something and the actual action or the being or the doing. This is why they get top athletes to run through their race before they go to do it. This is why they get them to play the game, go through the match, because on your brain's level, it doesn't differentiate between the thought of doing something and the doing of something. So we're bringing that memory forward by using the language. Amygdala response goes off. Now we need to rewire that response because your financial situation, we want to make it a much more positive part. We want to help it to flow towards us rather than to spark up and go, danger, need to intervene here, and get that self-sabotaging behavior that then tends to spark off. So by tapping on the different meridian points, what we're doing is we're almost resetting that amygdala response. And there is scientific evidence now. I've been doing EFT, like I said, since 2009. And in 2009, it was still quite early in its scientific proof. Now, because it's so profound and used in many different areas, including the NHS, we've got a lot more scientific evidence to back up what we've already known. So it's very exciting. So Annette, if you also want to let me know on a scale of 0 to 10, how you're feeling about money, we can go through that as well. And we're now going to start. Now I'm going to be using, I've written down a number of different things for us to go through with EFT. I've written these down because these would probably be the most popular that come up with regards to, or the clients that I've worked with regards to money on here as well. Excellent. So we've got 5, 4. For those of you that are on YouTube, if you also want to do this, rate it from 0 to 10 on how you feel about money. 0 being I'm completely broke. I feel terrible about money. It makes me feel anxious. It makes me feel like I'm in a desperate state. And 10 being, you know what, I'm pretty cool about money. I've got no worries about it and I'm all good. Thanks very much. Because rating this, and even if you don't put it in the comments, you're making a note of this personally, we're going to revisit this after we've done the tapping. Now, if you haven't done EFT with me before, don't panic. I'm actually going to give you a link in the comments where you can also download an EFT cheat sheet, and I'll let you know exactly what that looks like in a second. If not, you can just tap along with me anyway. Because I'll be going through everything with you. So there's a wonderful little picture of me on the front here. And then it goes through the setup statement. This is the intensity bar that I was mentioning earlier. So that's our 0 to 10 rating. It then goes through our setup statement. And on here, it's also got all the different tapping points that we will be using as well. And if not, you can just tap along with me. I'll go slower on the first few rounds so that you're able to follow that easily, and then we'll get a little bit quicker as we go through. So, as I mentioned, to start, we use NLP. This is neuro-linguistic programming. We're using this to fire up the subconscious, which is where all of our money blocks are likely to be held, because our conscious brain is only about 10% of our brain. It's very, very small. The rest of it is where we hold the memories and things. So we're going to tap on what's called the karate chop point. It's at the base of your little finger here and at the beginning of your wrist. So there's a nice fleshy part of your hand. And we take 3 fingers, and it doesn't matter which hand you do it on. There is no preference, but we're just going to tap on here. And we're going to say, even though I have these money blocks, and if you want to then repeat this after me, I truly and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though my money blocks are at A, and then you want to insert your number. So I've got 4, 5, 3, 2, at a 1, whatever that happens to be for you, even though my money blocks are at A, and then put in your number. And I know that this is holding me back. I am willing to let go and love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have these issues with regards to money, and money no longer flows to me easily, I forgive, love, and accept myself anyway. And then we take 2 fingers and we go to the top of the head. And it's kind of near enough at the back of the head where the hair starts to go down to the back of your head. I'm going to tap here and say, these money blocks. And then on the top of the eye, and it's right at the top where your eyebrow begins, these money blocks. And then the side of the eye is almost at the end of your eyebrow, again, just on the bone. This money block that is slowing me down, slowing down my progress. Then we go to the eye point, and it's just on that that bony part here. So for me, just underneath my glasses. These money blocks that are holding me back. And then underneath the nose, these money blocks that are holding me back. And then we've got the chin point. It's really slowing things down. And then the collarbone point is about 2 inches underneath the collarbone. So it doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good to struggle with money. Now I'm going to keep tapping. I'm going to be using some wording now that may make that intensity higher. I just want you to know that if that happens for you, that's completely normal. In fact, it's what we're trying to do, because again, we want to fire those memories so that we can bring them down and reset the wiring and that programming that's happened for you. This shame about money. I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I've really failed. All of these feelings. Now, I just want you to know that if you feel like you really don't resonate with any of this, just follow the tapping points with me, then swap it for another word. But I do want you to notice, if there is complete resistance to that word, it's likely that actually that's the issue. So if there's resistance, work through it. If it doesn't resonate, fine, swap it out for something else. So I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with these money worries. I don't want to have to be going through this again. This is always happening to me. I can never hold on to money. I'm always struggling, and I hate how it feels. It reminds me I'm failing. It reminds me that I'm not enough. It reminds me that my parents said that people were wrong if they earned money. It reminds me that what I'm doing isn't always enough. It's always the same experience no matter what. I don't seem to be able to break it. I don't know what to do. I can't get out of this. Hi, Susan. You can't get the link to work. Okay, I'll have a look at that in just a second, Susan. Thanks for letting me know that. I will try that in just a bit for you. I honor my feelings. This feeling about money. Now, just keep tapping on these points. What I would like you to do right now is now focus on your body. Where is it that you feel that? And if you can visualize something, what color does it have? What shape does it have? What texture? So for example, you might have this blue triangle in my stomach about money, this spiky orange feeling in my chest about money, this stabbing pain in my head about money. Whatever that happens to be for you, I just want you to concentrate that. The more specific that we can get, the better. And just go through those tapping points. I'm just going to try that link for you again and see if I can get this to work right. So if you just keep tapping. So Alex has got that the link has worked for her. So just try that one again, and let's see if that works for you. Okay, so we'll have been concentrating on where we're feeling that within the body. Okay, now I want you to find out whether has the intensity gone down, has that intensity gone up for you. I just want you to make a note of that. If you want to, you can pop that in the comments as well. Now, what I want us to do is go back to those other feelings that usually come up for people with money and finances. So I'm going to get a little bit more specific now. If it feels like it resonates with you, continue. If you want to swap it out for something else, then please do. So even though I have this voice, this negative, critical voice that just keeps telling me that I'm not good enough, that I'm not going to earn the money, that it doesn't grow on trees, that it's not for me, and this voice that just keeps telling me that I'm not good enough, full stop, that I'm a failure, that I'm a fraud, that at any moment in time, anybody's just going to find out that I'm not right and that I don't deserve this. Now, again, if the intensity goes up for you, I just want you to know that that is perfectly natural. Please just continue tapping through that. Even if you find this really upsetting, stopping is probably the worst thing to do at this stage, because we really want to bring that intensity down, not let it linger. So if it's got heightened emotions for you, just know that it's part of the process of being able to rewire that and let it go. Okay. So even though I think this voice seems to speak the truth, and even though I tend to believe it, I recognize that it's just an opinion. And actually, it might not even be my opinion. It may be my mother's voice replaying in my mind. It may be my father's opinion on money. It may be my teacher telling me that I would never amount to anything. That I was so stupid that I would never get anywhere. That I couldn't concentrate enough so I wouldn't get anywhere. It may be my parents telling me I wasn't good enough. That I would never amount to anything. That I would never be successful. I would never be as successful as my brother. I would never be as successful as my sister. I would never be as good as them. I recognize that this is not my voice. I recognize that this could be the voice of them. And it doesn't have to be true. I recognize that their voice doesn't have to be my truth. My truth can be different from this. I also recognize that this could be an opportunity to have a different perception, to let go of not being good enough, to let go of not allowing money to stay with me, to let go of all the fear about not being good enough, the fear of not earning enough, the fear of not being able to continue this through, to support my family, to support myself, to be able to buy the things, because it feels wrong to treat myself. It feels wrong for me to want a holiday. It feels wrong for me to want to go and buy designer clothes. It feels wrong for me to want when other people are suffering. But again, that's just a perception. And if it's just a perception, it means it can change. So today, I'm choosing to have a new perception. And that perception is, I am good enough. I can attract money to myself freely and easily. I can easily pay my bills. I can easily support my family. I can have luxuries in life guilt-free. Because the more I have, the more I can help others. If I have more, it doesn't take away from anybody else. In fact, because of who I am and how I am, it actually gives more to others. Because I can do more. I can do more, not just because I have money, but because I'm no longer worrying about money. Because my mind is free of that concern. So I'm letting go of all these feelings. I'm letting go of all of these blocks. I'm letting go of all of this fear and anxiety with regards to money. I know that I can earn money and that my bank account can keep going up, and that's all good. It doesn't make me bad. It doesn't mean that I ripped anyone off. It doesn't mean to say that I did something untoward. It meant that I earned it. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can flow to me easily and freely. The more I have, the more I can help others. And I just want you to tap on the karate chop point right now and just take a deep breath and just shake your body out just a little bit. I always find that kind of helps, and I like doing that in our sessions. And I just want you to now really kind of focus. I just want you to think about money, the money situation that you're in. And I would like you to rate on that intensity now on a 0 to 10. 0 being it's the most difficult situation. It's a feeling of despair. It's a feeling as though it's never going to change. And 10 being, you know what, I'm pretty awesome, actually. I can manifest the amount of money. I can have the amount of money. I don't have any guilt about money. I'm pretty good on that. So where do you feel now on intensity of 0 to 10? Awesome, Alex. That's amazing. So we've got Alex has now gone to a 9. So that's pretty awesome. So Alex, beforehand, you were at a 5. So now, Alex, I often find with my clients that there is a particular time when there is, oh, wow, Susan, that's amazing. And Susan's at an 8. So that's pretty awesome as well. So Alex and Susan, there is usually a profound part through that process where it suddenly just feels like the issues melt away, if you like, or something suddenly clicks. So just let me know in the comments like what that is for you. I love that, Anna. That's amazing. 6, but I am babysitting, so lose concentrating. And that's amazing at the fact that even in a busy environment, you have still managed to have a breakthrough with that. And then the wonderful thing about this is that this recording is still going to be available for you, so you can come back and revisit this anytime. Now, I do also want to go through this because here's something that's really fascinating. A lot of the programming that we have with regards to finances, yes, that does tend to stem from childhood experiences, and not just from our parents. It can also be from the media that was in and around us at that time. So those people that went through the Great Depression, and then, you know, as they kind of grew up, they still would have had all of that going around. The people that experienced growing up in and around the time when the UK was in huge financial difficulty, that was back in, I think that was from 2008 to 2010, something like that. Again, we'll have those kind of things playing around. So Alex has got on here, positivity kicks in whilst repeating what you're saying. That's amazing. That's brilliant. That means, again, that's really kind of reprogramming from that NLP perspective. So you are reprogramming the thought processes. Thank you, Susan, for that as well. Ah, that's awesome, Delwyn. So Delwyn's got, I've done it along with you too. Thank you. You're welcome. We're going to do a little bit more on this. We're going to concentrate on a few other areas that may kind of spike as well. So I'm just going to remove these comments as well for you as well. So I had written down some other aspects. So I just want to go through a little bit more on law of attraction. Because it is an extremely passionate subject for me, but I also know how profound it is. And I really want to kind of put forward how this works, because there is a bit of a perception out there that the law of attraction means that you just think about what you want and that's it. It kind of magically comes. It's not quite like that. It's a little bit more involved in that than, and we're going to go that. Oh, Alex, you're so sweet. You're infectious. That's good. Hopefully in a positive way, because otherwise that would be very bad. So we're going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction, but how we actually manage to get through this. So I'm going to do another experiment with a lot of you if you're happy to, because I love doing this. You'll be really surprised at how much this works. So I'm going to find out how resistant you are to money and earning money and keeping money. So if those of you that would like me to find that out for you, just put yes in the comments and I will work on that. So Alex has already got yes. So Alex, we will do that for you in just a second. So for those of you that would like to find out if you're resistant to money, then just comment yes in the comments, because this is what happens. We have a thought process and we think, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to be pretty positive about a whole financial situation. And I've understood that the law of attraction means that I try to concentrate on where I want to be rather than where I am. Susan's got, hell yes. Excellent, Susan. Sorry to be doing it for you too. Now, here's what happens. And that's also got yes, perfect. Here is what happens. We have that process and we might think, okay, right, I'm going to go along with the law of attraction and I'm going to concentrate on what I really want. And I know that I really want a house, for example. I want a 4-bedroom house so that I can have all my children in it comfortably, and we've kind of got that, and I feel like it's not too much. I'm not asking too much. Notice that, because that is a big part. I don't want to be greedy. So I just want to have, it's almost like, okay, well, you're already playing small. We're going to cover that in a little bit and see where that comes from. The other part that tends to happen is that we do that, and we might even divulge this. We might create our dream board. We might go searching for different houses, for 4-bedroom houses that we really like, and we're all kind of aligned with that. But what's happening inside is that every time you've got that thought about that 4-bedroom house, inside your body, and that inner critic, your subconscious, is going, nah, that's not for you. That's for them, but that's not for you. That house is not you. No, that house is way too posh. That house is way too pretty. That house is way out of your budget. That's playing in the background. So we may think that we are trying to align ourselves, but that's where the resistance comes from. So that's what we're going to work on right now. So Alex, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some muscle testing techniques. I'm going to work with you via proxy, if that's okay. So if you're happy with that, just comment yes in the just put yes in the comments. And then what this basically means is that I tune into your energy, a bit like I do when I'm going to give you a reading. And I will muscle test to find out what your resistance is. So Alex has put yes, that's all good. I'm going to test what your resistance is towards money. That is exactly what happens, Tracy. Susan, perfect, because we're going to make sure that we give you a breakthrough today. And this is how I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove my watch because the muscle testing technique that I'm going to use is actually on my arm. I might be able to have it go down a little bit so you might be able to see. Oh, that cuts off YouTube. I can't do that. Sorry. So this muscle testing technique, and you can try this one at home as well if you like to. It means that you put your elbow into your side and you're basically almost kind of resting your arm there. You then put pressure, let's try and do this on the side, on this side of your wrist, so towards your body. You don't want to go any lower because your wrist area is actually one of the weakest parts of your body. So if you were to press down here, it's always going to be weak. You want to make sure it's on a strong part of the body because your brain is hardwired for survival, like we said. So it will overrule something. If it's got a weak part of the body, it's going to make sure that it kicks in and it protects it. So it's going to make it will make the muscle testing inconclusive. So we're going to go this side. So where you got the kind of knobbly bit, that's a better way to show you, isn't it? There you go. Where you got the knobbly bit of your wrist, you want to come to this side of it towards your body. I just use 2 fingers and you really don't want a lot of pressure. So just kind of like this, you can see that I can easily move my arm down. So popping that into my side, what I need to do now is focus on connecting with Alex. So this will seem a little bit woo-woo right now, but it's pretty awesome. So for me to be able to muscle test, I need to have a bit of resistance, not too much, just enough resistance. Now, this time, because I want to make sure that I'm tuned into Alex, what should happen is that I should technically be Alex in terms of energy rather than myself. So I will keep asking that until I'm literally plugged into her. So is my name Alex? I don't know if you can see, my arm's gone down. Alex has got we love woo woo. So my arm's gone down, so I'm still me at this moment in time. Is my name Tracy? It's gone strong. So I'm now going to be concentrating a little bit more on connecting with Alex. Is my name Alex? I've got yes. Is my name Tracy? That's a no. So what I've now done is connected energetically to Alex. Now, when I do this in a public speaking or a demonstration, then this can be very similar to what's called surrogate muscle testing. With surrogate muscle testing, you're normally touching the other person. By proxy, it means I'm basically stepping into her energy, which is, like I said, how I do this in readings anyway. So, Alex, I'm going to discover now how resistant you are to money, to having money, to, let's say, how would we want to word this? Because I might want to make sure that I word this the same way for everybody. So, what if I say the word wealthy? Does wealthy fit with everybody? And for those of you that are following me on YouTube as well, let me know whether wealthy falls for you. And if you want me to muscle test how resistant you are to money, then please put a comment in there for me as well. So how does wealthy fit for you? Is that a word that you resonate with? In fact, I can muscle test for Alex as well. So Alex, does wealthy fit for you? So I've got, does wealthy fit for you? So I've got yes. Okay, so Susan's got yes. That's really good. So Alex, I'm going to say, right, how resistant are you to being wealthy? Is that below a 5? And I've got yes. And I've got, is that below a 3? That would be a no. So we're going between 3 and 5. So would that be at a 4? So we're at a 4. So on a resistance level, you've got a 4. So the resistance works on a scale of 0 and completely resistant 10, I've got no resistance whatsoever. So even though we got you up to a 9 in being aligned with trying to earn money, oh, you've got that. I could feel it in my stomach when you asked. It felt heavy. Yeah, absolutely. So the resistance that you've got. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of the emotion code. So this is something that I really wanted to introduce to you as well. And it is something you can do by yourself. You can buy the book. It's called The Emotion Code. It's by Dr. Bradley Nelson. At the beginning of this year is when I became a practitioner for that as well, after studying it last year. So, Alex, what I'm going to find out is what the trapped emotion is for you. So what's really resisting for you with regards to being aligned to being wealthy? So is this in column A? That's a yes. Is it an odd number? No. Even? Yes. Is it 2, 4? So it's on 4. And is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So we are on A, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is worry. So the emotion that is standing in the way of you being able to really have that wealth. So the resistance, if you like, is caused by worry. So what I'm going to do now is clear that worry for you. So we're using magnets to do that. Again, we're using the electromagnetic field. We use the main meridian for this, which goes from the top lip right the way down, actually to the bottom of your spine. It kind of goes all the way. So when I'm doing with EFT, you know, we tap on the different meridians. This is the general meridian that basically links all the other ones as well. So it's quite fascinating. So we're going to be releasing worry for you. And now already I feel a lot lighter. So let me know if that's the same for you. So did we release that worry? And I'm being shown that as a yes. Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how resistant are you on being wealthy now? So would that be, so remember 0 means completely resistant, 10 means I'm not resistant at all. So let's say, are you below a 5? That's a no. Are you below a 7? No. So let's go 8, 9, 10. So I've got you between a 9 and a 10 already. So let's just find out if there's another emotion. So is there another emotion that's getting in the way of you being wealthy, that's resisting for you? That's being shown as yes. Okay, so is that on column A? No. Column B? Yes. Is this odd number or even? Even. So 2, 4. So 2, 1, 2, 3. So 3. So B2, 3 is hopelessness. So just so that you're going to see this backward, but with the emotion code, it works on a grid system. So they've taken 66 different emotions and broken it down into this grid system, so it makes it much quicker and easier on being able to release them. So I'm now going to release that hopelessness for you. And this would be a hopelessness as far as money. So there will have been a time in your life where financially it just kind of felt like you were either never going to be getting out of this, or you weren't quite sure how you're going to manage. All of that type of thing. So let's find out if that's cleared for you. So have we cleared hopelessness? That's being shown as a yes. And how resistant are you now? So it's between a 9 and 10. So let's go to 9 and a 10. So I've got you at a 10 now. So hopefully that should have cleared that. So here's how we can check, because I'm all for making sure that this is not just completely woo-woo and that there is some kind of evidence for it. So I'm going to flip this round now and say, how aligned are you to being wealthy and allowing wealth into your life? Now, 10 would be you're completely aligned. 0 would be you're not aligned at all. So how aligned are you? Are you below a 5? No. Are you below a 7? No. Are you below an 8? No. Okay. So at a 9, at a 10. So you're at a 10. So you're in complete alignment. Whoop, whoop. So within one session, we have made the alignment much better, but the 2 emotions in particular that were being resistant for you were worry and hopelessness. So again, just even thinking about that right now, let me know how that kind of resonates. Do you think that those 2 would perfectly make sense for the circumstances that you've had. Brilliant. Okay. So you let me know about that. I'm going to work with Susan now. So Susan, we're going to find out how resistant you are financially. So what I'm going to need to do is disconnect from Alex. So I just have to concentrate for a second. Right, Alex has got on here. It makes sense for sure. Actually, as I kind of typed, as I was saying that, because I didn't tend to think about people's circumstances when I do this, I just, get involved. But yes, actually thinking about it, that probably does make very good sense. Right, okay. So Susan, I'm going to be working with you via proxy, if that's okay. Just say yes in the comments if that's all good, if you're happy for me to connect with you energetically. We've got some great comments coming from that. And then after Susan, we will go with Annette and then also Delwyn as well. We're also going to be talking about resistance on, yes, thank you. Perfect, Susan. So I'll be tuning into you. We're also going to be using or working on resistance on Mindset Monday. So that would be Monday, 10 o'clock. So Easter Monday, 10 o'clock, working on resistance. And if you want to work on getting a breakthrough with that, I'm going to be using this system again. So, so be there. Okay, so Susan, I'm just going to tune into you. So it is my name Susan. No, my name Tracy. Yes. Okay, is my name Susan? My name Tracy. No. So good. We are all linked together. So how resistant are you with regards to being wealthy? Now, bearing in mind that we had, I'm trying to remember which way around that we did this. So I think 10 was that we had no resistance whatsoever. 0 was that we had a lot of resistance. Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being loads of resistance, 10 being having no resistance at all and being completely aligned. So are you below a 5? I'm being shown yes. Are you below a 3? Yes again. Okay. Are you at a 2? Are you a 1? So you're at a 2. So there's quite a lot of resistance for you with regards to that. So even though we got to a higher number when we were working through on the EFT, underlying in your programming, there is still some resistance there that we need to be able to work through. So I'm going to find out now what that emotion happens to be for you. So is this on column A or on column B? B. Odd number or even? Even. 2, 4. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So B4, 4. So B44 is panic. So it's being shown that there will have been some situation with regards to your finances that have been very panic orientated. And then that's almost kind of got trapped within you. And then to make sure that we save you from ever having that experience again, you will find that you will subconsciously get in the way of being able to attract more money because it will stop it, so that you don't have to go through that experience again. And Susan's got on here, yeah, haha, yes. Good, so let's clear that now. So we're going to be releasing that panic with regards to money. Awesome. Okay, just make sure that I've done that. So have we released panic? And that's being shown as a yes. So we're now going to find out how we are on resistance now. So on a scale of 10 to 0, 10 being no resistance and 0 being full resistance, where are you on a scale of being resistance to being wealthy now? So are you below a 5? Yes. Are you below a 4? No. So are you a 4? Yes. So we've gone from a 2 to a 4. So I'm just making note of this. Okay. So the emotion that is keeping you trapped in this resistance, is this in column A or in column B? Is this an odd number? Yes. So is this on 1? Yes. Is this on 1, 2, or 3? So this is B1, 3. And this is insecurity. So again, there will have been some form of insecurity with regards to money and finances that will have again got trapped within you. And so that's resisting. Again, it's just trying to protect you. It's gone, hey, we've been through this experience again. She's got on there. That's a huge increase. That's a good thing. So yeah, so that insecurity has basically then meant that it's gone, hey, we've been through this before. It didn't work out so well. It like made us feel like this. So let's stop that from happening. But the difficulty is actually it's kind of inadvertently stopping you from flowing with money and being in a receptive state. So we're going to release that. What do we have? Insecurity. We're going to release insecurity. Okay. So let's have a look now. Have we released insecurity? And that's a yes. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being completely resistant, 10 not being having no resistance, where are we now? Are we below a 5? No. Are we below a 7? No. Are we at an 8? No. 9? No. 10. 10. You've literally gone straight to 10. So insecurity will have been a really big one for you. So that's pretty amazing. So let's just check. Let's flip this around and say, right, okay, well, how much are you in alignment to being wealthy? So your alignment means that 0, I'm not aligned at all. 10 being I am completely aligned and I can allow money to flow to me easily and freely. So on alignment, are we below a 5? Are we below a 7? Are we at an 8 and at a 9 and at a 10? So again, a 10. So I know that we've got that. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So Susan's got on here, wow. And Alex has got on here, I'm amazed I went from a 4 to a 10 in a matter of minutes. This is amazing. Can't wait to see the results. It's pretty awesome. It's amazingly awesome. And I love doing this for people because I just know how much of a difference it makes. Between this and EFT, the two things are literally transformational. And the reason I changed the wording was because I contacted a number of my clients before. And I was like, if you were to explain, because it was hard for people to know what an intuitive coach was. So I said to people, if you were to try and explain what it is that I do and what it is that I have done for you, what would you say? And the one word that came back time and time and time again was the fact that people said that I had transformed their life. So hence why I changed the name. Susan's got on here. That is totally amazing. You have no idea what I've tried to do in the past. Thank you. Oh, you are so welcome. I love that. And like I said, we've got another part on resistance on Monday. So if there's anything else that comes up for you, we can also work on that then. And I'm also working tonight at 8 p.m. We will be looking at, I think it's undeserving. I'll look at that in a second because my mind's gone blank. So, right, perfect. Right, Annette, are you happy for me to work with you via proxy? By the way, I can keep swapping mugs here because I've got like my homemade mint tea, coffee and water. Important to stay hydrated, you know. Oh, actually, that's a very good point. See, my guides are ever so good for me. Right. When you do this type of work, it's really important to hydrate yourself. And here is why. Because just as what happens when you work out and you lose weight, when you lose weight, the fat cells in your body, yes, excellent, Annette, thank you. The fat cells in your body tend to decrease in size. What that then does is it releases a lot of the toxins that got stuck within the body, which is why sometimes when you lose weight, you can feel like you've got flu, or you can feel like you're drunk, for example. You can feel like you're feeling really ill. And that's because it will release the toxins of whatever got stuck at the time that you put that weight on. And that is no different to emotions. If you think about it, and this is the best way that I can describe this, or the best way that I can kind of give you a visualization to it, if you like. When we get stressed, for example, our body naturally kind of tightens. It kind of like is all like this. It's why you have issues within shoulders and back and all that type of stuff. It's because your muscles contract and tighten. When we've got emotional trauma, our body does exactly the same. So if you think about it, and if it's like tight like this, it's stopping anything that's behind it from flowing freely. So when we release that, you will often find that there are other toxins and things that get released. So by staying hydrated, especially with water, ginger tea, ginger water, peppermint tea, any of those type of things, it really just helps to flush out the toxins. You can also use like green tea or anything else like that. Green tea is very good for helping to flush out toxins within the body. So another interesting part to know. Okay, so Annette, we're going to be working with you. So let me disconnect from Susan and make sure that I'm back to being me. Okay, so is my name Susan? Is my name Tracy? Is my name Tracy? No, so I'm back to being me, so that's all good. Now we need to go into Annette. Okay, so Annette, let's connect with you. So is my name Annette? Is my name Tracy? Is my name Annette? Is my name Tracy? So Annette, we are connected, which is pretty awesome. So Annette, what we're doing now is we're going to find out how resistant you are to being wealthy. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being complete resistance and 10 being no resistance at all, where are you on that scale to being resistant to being wealthy? So are you below a 5? Yes. Are you below a 3? Yes. Are you at a 2? Oh, hang on. So below a 3. So yeah. So so are you at a 2? Yes. A 1? No. So again, you are also at a 2. So let me just make a note of that. So on a resistance, you're at a level 2. So even though you may have had a bit more of a breakthrough earlier, there's still some resistance. So let's find out what trapped emotion is keeping you resistant to being wealthy. Is this column A? Yes. Is this an odd number? No. Even? Yes. Is this on 2, 4, or 6? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So A6, 4. A6, 4 is lust. Now, lust is one of those types of emotion. Actually, I tend to find that people have that when they were younger. But it can still be for finances, because it's a type of thing of almost wanting that, of almost thinking, I want that kind of lifestyle, I want that type of situation, I want to have that, and almost being in that situation of thinking, I want that so much. And I can see that actually if people have that kind of lifestyle, that they're really happy, glamorous, and all the rest of it, I want some of that. Now, you would think, okay, well, actually, maybe that's quite a positive emotion to have. But actually, any heightened emotion, whether it's positive or negative, is not good, because it basically means that your body is at a much heightened state than it needs to be in to allow things to flow freely. So let's release lust. Okay, so that's quite an interesting one. So that very much was all in my head area. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no resistance, 0 being full resistance, 10 being no resistance, where are you now? Are you below a 5? Yes. Are you at a 4? At a 3? No. So again, you're at a 4. So the next trapped emotion that is keeping you resistant to being wealthy, is that on column A? Yes. Is that an odd number? No. Even? Yes. 2? It's on 2. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So A, 2, 5. So yours is also worry. So again, probably quite understandable. There have been time when you were worried about money, but worried so much that that will have got trapped within the body as well. So we're now going to release that for you. Awesome. So releasing worry. And did we release that? Yes. And now on a scale of 0 to 10, how resistant are you to being wealthy? Is that below a 5? Is that below a 7? Is that at an 8? 8. So I've got you at an 8. So let's see if we can do, if there's another one that's stopping you. So even though we're at an 8, what's the next emotion that is getting in the way and restricting you from being wealthy? Is that in column A or in column B? No, that was an A. Odd number or even number? Odd. 1 or 3? No, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3. So that was the 2, 3. So this is heartache. So there will have been some situation for you that created heartache, and that's got mixed up with the finances. So let's put this into perspective. Now, this might not be relevant to you, but I'm just going to give you some examples I've had with clients. I've had this with people that have got divorced and originally had a level of lifestyle, then their divorce had meant that their lifestyle dramatically changed. I've also had the same type of thing when people have inherited money, which you'd think was a good thing, but they've inherited money, but it was because a person that they really loved, admired, was very close to had passed away. So that inheritance kind of then came with heartache. The other part that I would have had, that I've had with some clients, is that they've had money come to them through an insurance claim. But again, that came with heartache because it came at the expense of either their health or some kind of physical injury. So those are a couple of different examples. You don't have to tell me if any of those relate to you, because unless you want to, but I do want to make sure that I keep people's privacy as well. So I'm only ever going to ask you to share things that you feel comfortable with sharing. But those are some examples for heartache. So we're going to release that for you. Oh. Okay, so have we released that heartache? That's a yes. And now on a scale of 0 to 10 of resistance to being wealthy, where are you now? So we got to an 8 before. So are you below an 8? So that's a no. Are you at an 8? Nope. 9? Nope. 10. So we're at 10. Yay! So we've got no resistance there now at all. So let's just check that and find out now how much you are in alignment to allowing wealth to come to you and allowing money to come to you in a free-flowing manner. So how much are you in alignment to allowing wealth to come to you? So again, this would be 0, not aligned at all, 10 being completely aligned. So are you below a 5? You're below a 7? You 8, 9, 10. So I've got you at a 10 as well. So perfect. Wonderful. Do let me know how that felt, if you did feel anything within your body. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. There is no right or wrong with that, but just let me know if you did feel any differences, that type of thing. I know it's going to probably be a bit more difficult for you if you are babysitting at the same time. So perfect. Excellent. Delwyn, we're going to be working with you, so I'm very excited. So I'm just going to disconnect from Annette. So is my name Annette? Is my name Tracy? Good. So I'm back to being me. And now I'm going to connect to Delwyn. So Delwyn, just let me know, because I didn't get from you whether you're happy for me to work with you via proxy. Just in case you ever do any energy work yourself, and you do it with other people, just make sure that you've always got permission from them, first of all. So I'm just going to wait and find out if it's okay working with Delwyn. And yay. Oh, wow, that's amazing, Annette. So Anazi's got here with worry, I felt it move from my mind. That's really interesting, because I also very much felt like that was in my head. And Delwyn's got yes as well. Perfect. So that's all good. Now I'm just going to also share, if you do want to know more about this and you want to take advantage of the Easter weekend offer, I've got a 30% discount off of my 6 weeks to Fire Your Inner Critic and Hire Your Inner Coach course. Now, this course is quite profound in the respect that I've taken my years of experience as an EFT advanced practitioner, but also as a law attraction coach, also all the experiences that I've kind of had in life as well. and really worked out that there is a pattern to the underlying fundamental reasons as to why we haven't got what we want in life. There are some core levels. They're usually lack of self-love, lack of self-worth, lack of deserving. There's also acceptance and forgiveness and that type of thing within the course, but you learn how to do muscle testing and a number of different techniques on that so that it suits you. I also teach you how to do EFT, and I also teach you how to do mirror work as well, and bring everything together so that you can really get down to the core and help release all of these self-sabotaging behaviors. And more importantly, that inner critic, that one that just keeps on all the time in the back of your mind, and sometimes it's so silent. You know, it's so quiet that it's almost kind of, you've got used to hearing it. So it goes through all of that. And you can save, like I said, 30%. That's pretty much like me paying your VAT for you and then giving you 10% on top of that as well. So that's where you will find that link. Now that link, just to let you know as well, is unique. So don't just go onto the website because it won't have that discount on there. Just use that link, and it's only available until the end of Easter Monday as well. So Delwyn, I'm just going to go link in with you. So is my name Tracy? Is my name Delwyn? Is my name Tracy? Is my name Delwyn? Is my name Delwyn? Is my name Tracy? Good. Right. Okay. So Delwyn, you and I are connected. So Delwyn, I'm going to find out how resistant you are to being wealthy on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being I'm completely resistant to that. 10 being, you know what, I'm going to allow that money to come to me. I'm going to allow that to happen, and I'm not going to resist it at all. So where are we on a scale of 0 to 10? So are we at below a 5? No, so that's good. Are we below a 7? Yes, so that means that we're between 7 and 5. So are we at a 5? Yes. Are we at a 6? No, so we're at a 5. So really good starting point, really good starting point. Okay, so what is the trapped emotion that is stopping you from being wealthy? What's resisting that financial flow to you? Is it in column A or in column B? So your column B, is it an odd number or an even? Even. And is it 2, 4, 6? So we're on column B, row 6. And is it 1, 2, 3, 4? So 4. So column B, row 6, number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is unworthy. So this for you will mean that, especially when it comes to finances, you either feel like you are unworthy of having something paid to you, or that you're unworthy with money overall. So that's more than likely to be a pre-programmed response, either from parents or experiences that you will have had growing up. So also want you to know that that's very common. I usually have that with most people when it comes to finances. It was also one I had myself to deal with. So let's clear unworthy for you. Okay, that's also very interesting. I've very much got that all in my mind as well. So I kind of feel like there's almost been this throbbing thing kind of going on. So let me know if you also felt that. So have we cleared being unworthy for money? That's being shown as a yes. Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, where is the resistance now? So are we below a 7? Are we, where did we get to before? 5. So below a 7. So are we at a 5? Are we at a 6? Are we at a 7? So we're at 7 now. Delwyn's got on here, yes. Yeah, that's quite strange that you can feel it in your head as well. I often get the feelings within the body, so I find that quite fascinating. Okay, so the next emotion that you've got, which is getting in the way of you ringing in the ears. Yeah, that's going to be quite an interesting one. Remind me to give you some more information about that as well. In fact, let me do it now, because other people will be like, oh, I wonder what that's about. So the ringing in the ears, if that's like happened afterwards, it's almost like, okay, well, you've been resistant to the money. But if you've got the ringing in the ears, is that you have got like a predestined, if you like, part where you are helping others, but you will get paid for that. So it's almost like you're doing something where you will get service. I often find that ringing in the ears is when our guides, angels, if you like, or the divine universal consciousness is kind of like letting you know that you're on the right path, and that you're destined to be doing what you're doing, but you're also destined to be rewarded for that. So that's quite profound. Okay, so the other emotion that's getting in the way of you being wealthy, that's resisting that for you, so is that column A? Yes. Is that an odd number? Even number? Even. Is that on 2, 4, or 6? So that's on 6. So we had, was that A6? Is that on column A or on column B? So we've got A6. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was 5. Right. Okay. So you've got overwhelm. So again, it just means that, again, that whole process of finances, of getting it sorted, of like, have we got enough coming in? Like, have we got it all kind of sorted? Has quite a lot of overwhelm, or you have experienced that. It's also, again, likely to be preconditioned. So you may have also found that in your upbringing that money also seemed like it was really overwhelming, as though there was too much to pay out for and not enough to come in. Because if there was enough coming in, there wouldn't be the resistance. That's how I know how to break it down in that way. So let's release overwhelm. Now that's a really interesting one. I feel like my whole chest is cleared there. So that's a good one. So have we released overwhelm? Yes. And now on the scale of 0 to 10, where are we on the resistance? Are we below a 7? Okay, are we at a 7, 8, 9, 10? So we're at a 10 for you now, which is pretty awesome. So let's just flip this around and say, right, okay, well, how much are you in alignment to being wealthy, to allow money to flow to you freely and easily? 0 would be, I'm not in the flow of that at all. 10 would be, I'm in complete flow. Bring it on. So let's discover that for you now. So are we below a 5? No, below a 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect, 10. So we have managed to clear that as well. I am so incredibly excited. What an amazing session to have. And I really hope you guys have felt that as well. So I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody on YouTube before I finish up saying goodbye to everybody on Facebook as well. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. This was such an amazing session to have. I am back on at 8 o'clock this evening. I was just going to look to see what I was doing on that one. I'm not quite sure if I've got it up here. I'll post up later which one that was, but I think I was working on deserving love, deserving finances, all of that type of thing. So I will let you know. So thanks very much for joining me. Bye. Okay, so